So naturally, when there's pros, there's cons. The cons to managing property on your own are you have a more hands-on approach, so you have the more ins and outs, day-to-day ins and outs of the property, and that cannot be a good thing. If you have a family, you have a job, this is an investment property that's maybe some additional income, you may not have time for those day-to-day ins and outs, the more hands-on approach for your property, which is why you hire a property manager. You'll have to have more time available if you have a very needy tenant. They do exist in the masses, if you will. They will call, they will email, they will question, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it does take some of your valuable time. So again, hire a property manager to take that off your plate. If you don't have a tenant that pays rent on time every month without fail, you have to chase down that rent. You have to constantly call, text, maybe even go to the property to collect your rent payment. Okay, if you don't get the rent payment, you have to follow the proper protocol for late notices in order to be able to file the evictions at the earliest opportune time according to North Carolina general statutes and the lease. Fair housing guidelines, those are something very important. Not everyone knows them. They do change. You have to follow those rules even if you're a non-licensed person managing your own property. So make sure you know those. If you don't, it might be best to hire a property manager. That could be an investment on a discrimination case or anything that might come up. If your property is vacant or coming vacant, you have to market that property yourself. Do you know how? Do you know the best ways to get the best tenants? I'm not sure. We do. We get good quality tenants here. We have a full marketing aspects that we do, including multiple websites, social media, etc., and we get high quality tenants. When you get an applicant, you have to run that application. You again have to follow fair housing guidelines and when you run that application. So make sure you have your minimum set and things along those lines. If you don't, hire a property manager to do so. When you get a security deposit, many people don't know this. You can't put it in your personal trusting account. You can't even put it in your business trust account where commingling of money happens. You have to have a separate trust account for that security deposit. If you don't have one, get one because you're breaking the law. That is North Carolina general statutes, landlord-tenant law. If a tenant has negligence to a property, you may still be required to fix that repair and collect the money from them at a later date after the repair is complete. That comes back to fair housing. It comes back to code enforcement on housing. There are several factors there that may require you to fix that. If you have to go to court to evict them and they say, my property owner didn't fix the heat because I was behind on my rent, guess what that judge is going to do? Likely going to side with the tenant. Okay, which puts you right back into starting this process all over again. So as you can see, there are way more cons to self-managing versus pros, and it's a good idea to hire a good property manager with good protocol and systems in place.